Hey everybody, you're listening to the Combo Wombo podcast. I'm Chip Monk. With me as always the Mr. Gimpy.
What's going on, brother? How's it going?
Oh, spilling the words out today, dude. I was just rolling through.
Just going for it.
Hitting it hard, dude.
Boom, 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 whatever the fuck.
Set their faces to stun, dude. Getting people ready for their day.
He did do that. So, dude, gotta say, man. You did. Gotta say, man, it's been a fun weekend of just pure gaming for me, man. I
just a man in his games, dude.
Just a man in his games, you know.
Nice.
Figured out the permission issue with the kids game that I made.
Oh yeah, you're wrong about that. So it was you set up like a game, and then they're like on the Kindle Fires or whatever for the kids. Yes. You have all these parental locks, and then you're trying to work to network them together so they could play together.
Yep. So what I ended up doing was I set up like a relay server in my own home network and whitelisted that IP. And I just used my NAS as like a server for it, just so they could find each other. So they just would host a game and then join that. So I kind of circumvented that. I just put that as a whitelist, and it worked. So now that I have that working, I can kind of put the finishing touches on the game, because right now they're just shooting things infinitely, until they die. So I'm gonna we spoke about the bosses on a timer, and trying to get high scores with that. So
dude,
I have a couple days off coming up, for holidays and stuff going on, and gonna try and knock that out, and then I'll show you what's up, and call that complete, man. My first project done.
Hey, dude, it's huge.
It is huge. It's my first time actually. It's my first time actually doing it, so I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it feels more intimidating than it is, but like once you get in there, you're like, oh, it's mostly just telling things where other things are, and then worrying about other things. Like as long as like you're not doing like fighting games or like a MMO or like anything too crazy where it's like you have to worry about persistence or multiple objects or keeping track of items in a database, or you're worried about cheaters
and shit. Yeah. Like I said, it's just a LAN thing with my kids, so it doesn't. I could be as hacky as I need to be or whatever. It's not a big deal. So
it gets more complicated. But then again, there's like more and more solutions. Like you can get. Like I saw this dude who just dropped like $600 on like a networking solution for his game. He was like, He's like, this guy only does networking, so this is worth it. Like, he's like, my game's like an online game. All it does is online shit. Like, it was like an Unreal, and he's like, he's like, I'm going to do that. And I was like, that makes sense. Got me thinking about it. So I was looking at like other stuff. But I was like, maybe.
Yeah. How's your project going? You shared some cool clips the other day.
I got traps working, like a healing fountain. I got a store working where you can buy more units. I don't even know if I want to continue though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I worked on this to make like the level editor thing, because that'd be a neat idea. Level editor got made, and now I'm just kind of like going through the motions of like finishing the game, because I'm like, I guess that's kind of what you're supposed to do, but like, I'm not even really too interested in like the concept or execution of like a dungeon crawling auto battling game. Where I'm just like, I don't know, but.
You could just release it as like a concept and just have everyone just make their own levels.
Levels. Be like, here's like all the tooling.
It would be like Dungeon Master, It's just like, you make your own dungeons and hope you win. So
good luck. I could do. I could make like a quick like 5 levels or something to demonstrate everything, and I just put it out there for people.
Or just say fuck it. Move on to the next. That's valid too.
I don't know. I was talking about the ads the other day. It got me thinking about making some kind of like online multiplayer FPS. I don't know. I was thinking about like a zombie survival type game. Maybe it seems easy enough to.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. It's there's so many great games in that genre though. It's like, I'm probably not going to do anything better than like Left 4 Dead, and they made that shit years ago, dude. They also got Left 4 Dead 2, all the creative content that's out there. I think like
even on the other end, like No More Room in Hell is getting a sequel. And want a more realistic, like survival focused game. It's it's tough. It's tough to be in that space. The other one too, if you're going super arcadey horde wave shooter, you got Call of Duty Zombies, but you also have like Killing Floor, which Killing Floor 3 is coming out. So it's a tough space to get into. I agree. But well, why not try? Or if you want, because I think could we be playing those games already? Sure, but as like a friend group, playing something you made is always cool. So.
That is true. I think it's more just for the novelty of it to be like, it looks like Chip made a game. I guess we'll try that out.
Yep.
And like, I don't know, like I've talked to you before about like how I'd want it to be more like a caravan style game where like everyone has cars and they're moving from like A to B, and then like once you're there, like it's like you're holding down that point with like almost like a Crazy Taxi style elements that are like happening in the city where it's like you have to help survivors and shit, but all that shit just seems like above and beyond like
what you
it's
want
like a huge
yeah.
No, just like a time investment. I'm like, fuck, this is gonna take fucking a long ass time, dude.
If you kind of look at it and break it down with what you've made already, right? You've made the big open world city already, and your other game that you couldn't find the fun in the combat. Sounds like you found the fun in the combat. You could even take your resource management from the previous game and use that as if you're having a Crazy Taxi style loop, you're saving survivors, right? Let's just say those survivors are paying you to save them, right? Like you're in a rich district if you're going story. Survivors are paying you. You save them in that district, they pay you, but you also build like fortified structures, and you get like levels A, B, C, or whatever, and then you move on to the next. So that and you've already made driving, happen in a game. You've made massive like I want to say like NPCs. You made NPCs running around and shit already.
Crowds and shit.
That's what I was looking for. Crowds. You've done like crowd control stuff. So I think you've done a lot of the smaller pieces with this. It's just to combine them into one game. Like I haven't seen you do like zombie AI or like horde functionality yet. I think you have though, or maybe it was like a smaller scale.
I don't think I made anything too. I don't know, like I inherently dislike zombies because I feel like the programming's lazy. It's like they throw them in every game because it's like the simplest AI to program. It's like just get the player, move towards player. If you hit the player, deal damage to player. It's like it's every zombie AI ever. I like I said, that's why I immediately went for like Left 4 Dead, where they had like the director AI cinematic brain. It like controls the waves, like tries to have like unique encounters where people are coming from, and like sees like if you're like fighting one area too much, and then like brings people in from like behind you guys to like try and flank and stuff. Like so there's like some interesting things with that, and that even had me more thinking of like just trying to build some kind of AI myself. I feel like nobody like it's crazy that like Doom kind of hit hard right away, and then like Halo, and then everyone else was just like, yeah, we kind of get it, whatever, we're gonna like make lazier AI than like games from like 20-30 years ago, which is weird, man.
Halo's AI was good, like the campaign AI. No, I think they were good, honestly.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. There's like a few like high watermarks, and that was it, man.
Oh, I thought you used Halo's example of lazy AI. Sorry.
No. I was like, that's one of the two good ones, man. Like it's one of the good ones. Like, where it's like, you throw a grenade, like they'll run away or like run towards you. Like Doom, it's like the different enemies stay in different distances. They have like factions that will fight each other if they like encounter each other. I don't know. Halo has some of that stuff too, with like
the Revenant could res enemies and shit, and Doom.
AI is hard to do. It's hard to do well. It's hard to make it like fun and entertaining and challenging because like I would say like it's easy to make a great AI where they'll just like one hit killing you from across the map.
It's hard to make it realistic, right? Like
it's hard to like find a balance. I don't know. Like I know like I don't, not to use like buzzwords and bullshit, but like it feels like you could like leverage like the power. Like I know like Unity has like a thing called like ML agents where you can like train it on data. So like maybe you could like record like your playthroughs of like being a zombie and like finding somebody. So maybe we could have like it'd be like a pain in the ass. Like I'd have to make like a multiplayer module where like we could all play as zombies, like trying to take out a guy, like an infected mode. and then like do that over and over again for a couple hundred matches, and then like use that data.
That's still not enough to like have true data like that.
You
though,
use that to base your training data off of, so that way the zombies aren't starting from zero.
Sure.
So you're like, all right, here's like human input. Now do this like 20,000 more times for the AI, or whatever, 100,000 more runs until it approximates something decent. But I don't know. I feel like we could start like with like cool tactics and shit, but I bet it just ends up, find player, move towards player. It ends up like right back at the beginning. It's like the ultimate strategy for a zombie is to go for the
way you get around it. The way Left 4 Dead gets around it is Left 4 Dead gets around it from sheer speed of their zombies, right?
Yeah.
But also the unique zombies, the boss zombies, where it switches it up a little bit, where it forces your attention away from the general horde to deal with something that's a little smarter, and then that makes the general horde a problem. So Killing Floor does the same thing, where you have different unique infected. I think every zombie game worth its salt has that, where you have different levels of infected. No zombie game exists where you're fighting the same zombie the entire game through, including Zombies Ate My Neighbors, including OG Resident Evil. You have different enemy types. Zombies are fun because they're easy to kill. They look cool, but when used properly, they're distractions. Like OG Resident Evil, right? The first zombie is scary the first time you see it because you don't know how to deal with it. You're dealing with the crummy tank controls, but it's not an issue fighting that first zombie. The issue is when you go back through the hallway and those fucking zombie dogs break into the window. That's the real challenge. The first zombie is just to scare you, get you ready for it, but the dogs, those are the real challenge.
They'll get at you.
So I think that's the real thing. It's the game won't be as entertaining, I feel, if you just stick to the one zombie type with like you said, move toward player, attack player.
There's like spitters, there's boomer, ones that explode.
Yep.
You got boss zombies,
the witch, the tank.
You got dogs, a lot of famous good zombies out there. You got fast zombies, slow zombies, tentacle zombies. You got like head huggers.
It's one of the things too. Like when you get deeper into Resident Evil 2, you see the special infected more, like the lickers and things like that. So, it's not as. I mean, when you look at it, when you think about it, of course you think of zombies first, but really when you delve deeper, that's not all you're fighting. So I think you're
fighting your fellow man. Yeah. I don't know, the haters will be like, how come you didn't talk about Half-Life's AI? It was good. It's great scripting. It's great logic. It's a lot of freedom.
I was going to mention it, but I figured you were going to, because obviously it's
you know me. I'm a classic Half-Life hater.
Yeah. But it's a tentpole and good AI, especially because one of the big reasons it won Game of the Year from so many publications was not just its fantastic storytelling, but it was, at the time, the very commendable AI. It was the first time where AI.
There's no Daikatana.
AI looked like it was using tactics. Which was the first time. Shout out Soldier of Fortune around that same time, but looked like it was using tactics. So obviously no one's gonna forget Half-Life. Come on, that's all.
How dare you?
Come on.
People would be more prone to forget Army of Two than Half-Life, dude.
True. So I think we have to talk about what happened
Rainbow
last
Six,
week.
Man, the OG Rainbow Six.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
That was more like you set up your own AI, like pawns, and then like plans
they had reactionary AI for the enemies and stuff, but it was definitely something.
There's something to
that. Xbox's showcase happened last week.
Showcase of the Immortals. No more E3, right?
Well, yeah, there's been no more E3. We've
I'm just,
it's each individual company's doing its own thing. I think the biggest thing
somebody just woke up from a coma and they're like, man, throw on that Combo Wombo podcast. let me reminisce about this, dude.
For sure. But Gears of War 6 was not announced. Gears of War E-Day was announced. So it's set before Gears 1, when Emergence Day actually happens. You play as a young Dom, a young Marcus Phoenix, and they just showed a cinematic trailer, but I gotta say,
Gears
dude,
of War, dude, it's been going
it
on
got me.
downhill.
It got me hyped, dude. It got me hyped.
It's been long enough, dude. I feel like this franchise has been like slowly imploding in on itself. They've been adding like weird like
yes and no.
features.
I think legacy fans like us, yes, but it has attracted new fans. People seem to really enjoy Gears 5.
What's going on in the story, dude? Of Gears, dude.
I can't go into it right now. It's
so convoluted at this point, dude. Like,
yeah, that's why you're going back to the beginning, dude. You got obviously General Ram will probably be back in it, who's still the best.
Never explain how a dude ended up in jail.
Yeah, that's what they're going to show you. They're going to show you the whole thing, dude. That's
wasn't that like something dumb. He was like, "Do this thing." He's like, "No."
He just disobeyed a direct order or whatever.
Ridiculous.
So, yeah, but we're going to see that. We're going to play through that. But outside of the single player too, Gears was the one that popularized horde modes, right? And I feel with like Gears 4, Gears 5, the horde mode, they've been doing too much with it, and it's become a shadow of itself.
Game too, like you'll be playing like the campaign, and then they'll be like, "All right, here, this is like horde survival, this area."
Yeah, so
everyone's like, "What the what?"
So I'm hoping that with you get a lot when you go back to the former main characters, right? You get a lot, you expect a lot, you expect some more legacy elements. So I'm hoping that with that we get some more legacy style Gears. So we'll see where it comes from, but overall I'd say that was probably the biggest hitter on the showcase. Perfect Dark actually looked really good. Looks like Mirror's Edge and Deus Ex Human Revolution had a baby.
I was never into Perfect Dark.
I wasn't either. Yeah.
I feel like it's for people who like the idea of Perfect Dark but never played Perfect Dark.
I think so too. Because
like every person I've seen who's like played Perfect Dark, they're like, this has nothing to do with the story, and it's like, bro, let it go.
The thing with it is everyone who played Perfect Dark before then, mostly they just played the multiplayer mode. I've never known anyone who played through the single player Perfect Dark and were like, it was a banger. People listening to it are probably like, oh, fuck you, the Perfect Dark was definitely a banger. Sure, but I'm saying the general.
Graphics wise, it was like they hyped up like
the multiplayer that was there.
The RAM pack, remember that? Like the little drop in more RAM just to play this game, dude.
Yep.
Enhanced graphics.
But we all know that GoldenEye was the FPS darling from the N64 era. People who love the multiplayer said Perfect Dark multiplayer took what GoldenEye did and made it better, which objectively, sure, there's more options.
Have you played a little game called Turok, my friend?
No, dude, Turok was great, but
64.
Yeah, I can tell you that when I was over at a friend's house,
the multiplayer was all right.
Yeah, no one played Turok multiplayer, dude. You tried it for a little bit, but you immediately switched to either GoldenEye, No Mercy, or Perfect Dark, dude. Come on, or Smash.
Turok was for men, dude, who were ready to bang it out. They had like such small cluster maps. Dude. Yeah, dude. It was ready for men to get on top of men and wrestle, covered in sweat and oils, dude. Essential oils, dude.
Your N64 group events were a lot different than mine, really.
So, there was a time before AC.
That's true.
Men were men.
That's true. But yeah, man. I just to kind of wrap up here. Did you check out the showcase? Any games you're looking forward to? Like the new Fable, I think has a very interesting direction. It seems to be going kind of like a storybook come to life kind of a thing.
Sure, it seems like more reasonable now that Peter Molyneux is out of that place.
Yeah.
So the guy Molyneux, yeah. Excuse my balls. You're gonna click on my ball. He's gotten into the NFT grift, so that's good. He's out of the mainstay. Fable. I really loved Fable 2. Okay. That was like kind of like the high watermark for me that got me into like modding the original Xbox, opening it up and like going in and like reprogramming the games by like getting the dump off the hard drive.
Sure. And
then like you could go in and like just manage little hex files and change little things here and there to get infinite money and everything else. Like that and Halo, I did that with the OG Halo as well. But that was like more like the shotgun's now a rocket launcher, and that was always fun.
Yep.
So like little mods and stuff. So I don't know. Again, like I'm a pretty boring guy. Like when I played like Fable 2, I was like more interested in buying up all the properties and becoming like the end boss. like the becoming the real villain of the story, dude, driving up rent prices and taking everyone's gold, and then just paying for redemption. Because I think you just like pay to like get off like your evil washed off. It was like millions of gold, so just go to the fountain and do that, and
yeah.
So I'm interested to see. I don't know. I know they always promise weird and crazy shit, like plant a tree and see it grow up in real time.
I think
get married, have kids, and then if you die, like your kids take over your adventure.
Yeah,
I think it's good that they got rid of all that like braggadocious and fucking crazy. It seemed more like just stuff to sell a game. It was like basically false advertising. It's wild that they didn't get like slapped on the wrist or something. I think maybe they did because they started having like people sit with like Peter like in meetings and shit.
Just like shut the fuck up, yeah,
you're gonna get a suit, dude. You can't just say shit.
But I will say the one thing about Peter Molyneux, who that I do always respect. But every time he talks, you take it with a grain of salt. But because of him, we had such ambitious games that now that technology caught up with his ambition, a lot of the stuff that he said previously is possible. So,
he was like talking about like on the Xbox 360.
I still think
Connect.
Black and White is his magnum opus, personally.
Yeah, it's a great game. On the 360 Connect, he was talking about like having like an AI assistant that you could like talk to and like just have like as a companion. It was basically like it was like a little bit after Seaman for Dreamcast. You remember Seaman? He was a little man with the microphone you could talk to, and you would change his personality.
Yep.
So yeah, it's weird that like we're now like with large language models at a place where you could actually have like an NPC that like you take care of, or like a pet or something that like hangs out. So yeah, like you said, he was like really swinging for the fences, basically false advertising, but like really pushed his team to do like a bunch of crazy shit. Like had like the breadcrumb trails and everything else, and they're like,
it's kind of the age-old adage of you don't know unless you try, right?
You have to have a cocaine-fueled, insane British man pushing your team, punching them beyond their like limits. Like
he was
ruining marriages.
He was gaming's futurist. He's the one futurist. A lot of the stuff
you could be a con man or a futurist. It's like really just a matter of timing. Like, I listened to Ray Kurzweil. He's like a few classic futurist, and like he does like a lot of venture capitalist shit. And he was like, people come to you with ideas for businesses, and most of them are able to execute their vision. He's like, what I have found is more important is timing. So you can take everything with a grain of salt. He's like, everything's all about timing, about like cost per unit and like scalability of like whatever. Like you got to think of like server and backend costs and like all maintenance and upkeep. But like, hey, maybe in like 10 years, like it's like a non-issue where it becomes like pennies on the dollar or something,
Right.
Or like you want to make like a crazy AI that like lives and grows with you, but like there's just now the systems are computational power in place, but you could do it. I said Daikatana earlier is kind of like a laugh, but it's really ahead of its time. Whereas he wanted like 3 or 4 like AI campaigns that like help you venture through a game kind of like Left 4 Dead. So it's like failure and success is often dictated a lot by timing of the market and like ideas. So you can be like a crazy video game futurist, but like it's a thin line again between like just like a huckster bullshit artist. Like what was the one that just with all the millions of planets and stuff?
No Man's
Sky. Yeah.
They've stuck with it and have actually realized that vision though.
Yeah,
so that
just took time.
It took time. Yeah. So let me end the pod on this here. Of the games that promised the moon and delivered, nothing. Do you think that any deserve to be looked at nowadays with like a modern eye and to give it another chance?
No, let the past die.
Just learn from it. Okay.
Just learn from it. I don't know. Like I've listened to this other guy. He had a podcast This Week in Startups Twist, and like he did like a bunch of venture capitalist shit as well. So he invested a lot in like Silicon Upstarts. And he was like, he almost wished there was like a wiki or a graveyard for like all the shitty app ideas and like startups and web development ideas. That way people could actually learn from them, because he's like, a lot of them like they'll come and go and like they'll disappear like a fart in the wind. But like it's crazy that there's not like just like a database of like we're getting there with like video games where there's like failed games and like game graveyards and like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me end on this too. No matter what you're doing, if you're in the AAA space or the indie space, and I'm guilty of this as well, even just from like projects that I start and stop. I think we should normalize writing a postmortem, if not to publish online, but for yourself to go, what was this project? What were the problems going on? Why did it stop? I think self-reflection is a very good exercise that more people should do, and not just gaming, even though this is a gaming podcast, but maybe any like creative venture in your life, like success or failure. I think it's great to look back on it and then see kind of what went wrong, and to see maybe you can do better in the future, and if not you, someone else. So
do better.
Gonna end it on that, brother. All right,
whatever, dude.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and
real marketplace sale going on for the asset store.
Nice. Check out that sale. And for the Combo Wombo podcast, I'm Mr. Gimpy.
Only till the 20th. Chipmunk.
Like, share, subscribe. We will see you guys next Sunday. Take care, everybody.
We out. Peace.